Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today I'm going to be giving you my review of Downsizing. Now if you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always with my videos, this review may include spoilers, so you have now been warned. So Downsizing is okay. It's just okay. I enjoyed some bits of it, but for the most part, I just kind of felt let down. And I think that is my biggest issue with this movie, is that I felt very missold. This is the first instance I can remember of going to see a film and feeling like I've totally been missold by the trailer. Now, I'll get onto that in a little bit more detail in a little while, but let me just tell you about some of the things that I enjoyed in this film. I thought it had really good performances all round. Matt Damon's okay. Matt Damon has a decent performance. It's kind of the other side of Matt Damon's acting skills. Like, not when he's not being an action star, he does these kind of mundane, run-of-the-mill kind of normal characters, and I think he does that very well, and he does it very well in Downsizing here. But for me, the two standout performances in this movie, first up, it's Hong Chow, who played Nulok. I hope I'm pronouncing both of those right, but she was brilliant. She, for me, was the kind of heart and the very center of this movie. As this movie progresses, she is like the moral compass who keeps all of this crazy stuff that's going on in the world. She keeps it all centered, and she is really the true heart and the true star of this movie, in my opinion. And I loved almost every scene she was in. She carried herself so well. She brought warmth to every scene she was in. She brought great bits of comedy. There's a really, really poignant scene where they tell her that she's going to Norway, and it kind of affected me a little bit. It was very, very emotionally charged, her performance, and I really enjoyed hers. Then on the other performance I really enjoyed, and for me probably saved this film along with Hong Choi, is Christoph Waltz. He was absolutely incredible as like the a-hole next door neighbor in this movie. He just had some great little nuances of comedy. There is one little bit that I want to point out that was just so subtle but so funny. It's towards the end of the film. A loving relationship may have just happened on a boat, and there is a scene where the two guys, it's Christoph Waltz and another guy, realize what's going on, and throughout the entire scene Christoph Waltz does not say anything. He just sits there like this and just stares at Matt Damon, just silently staring at Matt Damon with this really smug grin on his face, and it was a really great scene. And yeah, great performances all round. Another really great thing about this movie is when they did it well, is the world looked really, really cool, and they really layered all of the worlds. It had great production value and set design, like creating a mini world inside the real world. When it worked really well, and it looked really, really cool. But I have to move on to my main issue with this film, and that is that I felt totally missold by the trailer. Now, from the look of this film, from the trailer, it looks like a really fun, like satirical, almost black comedy. And in this film's defense, it does do that for the first hour or so in the film's first act. It definitely feels like that. It feels like it's poking fun at society, which is really nice and was kind of enjoyable. But then after Matt Damon's character is downsized, it's just kind of completely different, and the whole tone, style, feel, energy, almost like it's almost like a completely different genre shift from like the film's first act to the second and third act, and it just didn't work. So that is inherently like my big issue with this film, is that I think a lot of people are going to feel like they've been missold and they've almost been lied to, because it does feel like the whole downsizing gimmick is just being used to get bums on seats, because they don't really want to give away what the full like story and feel of this movie is basically posing the morality question of, as we're killing the planet and we need to save it. They wouldn't put bums on seats doing that. So I kind of get it, but this film would have worked well if they'd have gone down that route and just had this film be about the end of the world, and had like this couple or this guy go to Norway and find all this. They could have done that without having the downsizing gimmick in there, because again, another negative thing about this is that the downsizing and the big and small, you know, funny haha, look, this is really big, you're really small, there's no like gags used about that after, again, the first kind of 5-10 minutes of him being in that world. I think like you totally forget that these characters are small because they live in a small world that is surrounded by a big world, but you only ever see the small world, if that makes any sort of sense. They would just throw in little bits as well as like, oh yeah, look, we're in church and there's a guy playing a big tambourine. Oh yeah, but that then takes you out of the film because you forget that you're in a small world after all. Sorry, I had to get that bad joke in. But yeah, it's okay. As I say, it is okay, the Downsizing. It's fine. It has a nice story to it. But overall, I just felt let down. And I felt kind of missold by what the trailer was selling to me. So if you guys have seen Downsizing, let me know what you thought about it, as always, down in those comments below. And if you did enjoy this video and you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I will see you in the very next episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. Ta-ra!